but I'm excited for that one person to come to love on her and show her. So yeah, I'm just really excited that my mindset, it's a daily struggle for me, but I'm excited right now for that one person to be there tomorrow night, and love on her. So that's it.
Awesome. That's a great attitude to have, Becca. And sometimes those one-on-ones end up being even better because you can really invest and pour into people and learn a lot about their wellness goals. So thanks for sharing, Becca. Anybody else?
I'm excited because I did my very first vendor event with Erin and Jennifer Markowitz. So I thought it went really well. It was really nice to kind of touch base with people and just create some interaction with them. And, you know, obviously we're going to talk more about it tonight, but I thought it was a great way to kind of get out there in a community that we're all brand new to.
Yeah, definitely. I was proud of you guys for stepping out, and we'll talk a little bit more, like you said, tonight, but I was really proud because both of these ladies were not afraid to talk to people and just engage people and put themselves out there. So kudos to you guys for being brave. All right, I think we have time for one more. Anybody else have anything they want to share?
Yes, Erin, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Mike. Good to see you on here.
Me and Jackie have done 3 vendor fairs so far since we've started doing the Young Living, and I've enjoyed it a lot. And the last one we did, Linda Smith helped us with it, and so we got to visit with her and her husband and get to do a lot of different areas, meet people, and just I enjoy doing that because that's part of what I do for a living, even is do the vendor type fairs. So
cool. Well, definitely in a minute when we start talking about that, we'd love to hear from you and get your big takeaways from what's worked and what's been really successful. We'd love to hear that. Cool. Thanks, Mike. Okay, so we're going to hop into a little bit. First, we're going to talk about planning just for the month and some promotions that we have going on. And then at the end of the call, we'll do a little bit of that training. So there's only a couple classes scheduled right now. I don't know about you guys, but August has flown by. And so I feel like we're all kind of a little bit behind on planning for September. But I plan to do a public business sneak peek class. And this is new for me and a little bit out of my comfort zone. So I hope you guys will join me in being excited about this. But we don't often share the business opportunity up front with people. Most people are product users and lovers, and then they gradually get into that. But there are people out there who are excited about a business opportunity and are open to that. So I'd love to create a space to just talk really organically about that and do a public class and invite anyone that we think might be interested right from the beginning, or Oilers that might already be interested. So I'm going to do a public one for our whole team coming up in September. Our team focus is going to be, and if you have feedback about that or something that you'd like to see on there, or if you are like, I would love to speak and share about why I'm doing this, then definitely send me a message because I'd love some collaboration on that. The next thing is our team focus. And this month I want to focus on wellness routines going into the fall and to the winter, just thinking about how we can be proactive with our health in several different categories. So I thought we'd take weeks and break it up into like things like sleep and hormones and supplement routines, that kind of stuff. So this is where you guys come in. I would love for anyone who wants to do some sort of video about a routine. So that could be maybe you love your sleep routine, or you love your hormone support routine, or you love a routine that you do for your kiddos, anything like that. So I'll put up a spreadsheet on the drive and share that with you guys as a place to sign up. I'd also love to throw in a couple of a day in the life of videos. So if you are excited about that and you'd like to kind of do a video of maybe your whole day, piece it together, whatever, and share what it looks like to maybe to be an Oiler. Yeah, she said Caleb must do one. I already told him that he has to do one. So my husband, you guys know, uses more oils than I do. So I told him he had to do a day in the life of Caleb oiling. So that's kind of my vision for education and engagement on our team page. So if you guys have ideas with that, I'd love to hear those. the next thing, I think, is Kelly on here yet? She is here. Hey, Kelly. I wanted to share with you guys about power hours. I know you've heard us talk about them, but I wanted Kelly to elaborate a little bit on what exactly they are, why you would want to be a part of them, and what you can expect when you hop on one of those. So Kelly, can you tell us a little bit about what to expect with those?
Yeah, so power hours are just an hour of devoted time, and it's kind of like working as a group, but you feel like you're working by yourself. You just have a team leader. It'll be a silver or above. Actually, it's been, I think, Rachel and Shally doing the Wednesday ones. I think, Erin, have you done one of the Wednesday ones?
Just to fill in, but
okay.
Really.
And then Elaine Howard is doing the Monday night ones. Usually they're Monday nights at 9:00, and that works for me. I'm usually not available on Wednesday afternoons. But what it is, there's usually about 6 or 8 tasks that we're given to do, and basically the host will introduce what it is, and these are IPAs. These are income producing activities, and I know Jessica's been on quite a few. Kristen's been on some. Jennifer, I think you were on the last one. Erin's been on them. Becca, you've been on them. And so they've just been great. But usually we'll start out with an icebreaker. And one of the ones that Elaine gave a couple weeks ago, she said, I want you to pretend like Rachel's on your team, Rachel Johnston, and you have $100. What would you recommend Rachel get in her ER kit? For ER for that month. And so that was just good practice for us to, instead of just things that we would get, knowing what Rachel does, homeschooling her children, what she might need. So it was just a good practice thing. And then each week, there are different activities in the month focusing on what you would need to focus on with your members. Like if the first week of the month, you might talk about the promotions for the month and the ER promotions in the classes. This week it was going to be on, we were checking for missing ER orders for our team, checking for missing commissions for those on our team, those who hadn't placed $100 or 100 PV order on our team. There's time, and basically the leader will say, all right, we're going to spend 10 minutes doing this. And we'll just do that for 10 minutes, and then she'll come back and introduce the next activity. One of the things is 5 minutes, like to congratulate people on your team who maybe have just ranked up or maybe just enrolled a new person. And these are things that you really think about, but it's really a guided time of just a focused hour of work. And you get to see, because people will type in the chats, this is how I do this. This is a template I use from that, and you can use other people's ideas. They're just sharing them with you. And it's really good because what happens during the day, I might do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. But when I sit for an hour of focused time, I just seem to get so much more done. And so I found them to be very beneficial. And today, because we had this tonight, I couldn't do it with the group. So I printed out week 4 and I did it myself during the day. And so just having that sheet ahead with those IPAs just right in front of me were great. So one of the things that I do, and so this is something that I appreciate Erin does for me, I always give her my goals for the next month. And I tell her my classes that I plan to do, my goals, the people I plan, like leaders I plan to work with. And then one of the things that Erin likes to ask of me is to evaluate this month, how I did this month, things that I succeeded in, things that I could work on for the next month. And so it gives me a time of self-evaluation, and it always makes me prepare for the next month. So I think it's been great. I think any level that you're on, and there's always an alternate activity. If you don't have people are on ER under you, you may text somebody and, tell them the benefits of ER, send them a sway class talking about ER, just things like that. But there's always great ideas on how to communicate with your team.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Kelly. And so this is, like she said, it's just a guided time of work. Somebody is not talking at you the whole time. They're giving you a task, and then you are stepping away for 10 minutes and doing that and coming back and getting another task. So like she said, it's a great thing to save those templates. If you want those templates, we can send those to you and use them throughout the week. Set a timer and time yourself. I have found that I'm like, wow, you guys, these are things that I know I need to be doing, but some of these things I haven't been doing. So I would encourage you too to use this as a chance to personally communicate with those people in your organization who have showed interest in sharing. Invite them. Don't assume that they've seen those messages on Facebook, but I would encourage you to send a personal invite, send them a reminder a couple of times if they've shown interest in doing it, because these, you guys, I think are hands down the best thing we're doing as a team collectively right now. People are seeing some good stuff happening from these. So thanks for sharing about that, Kelly. And to kind of segue into that.
Oh, sorry. Can I just jump in really quickly and say that,
Yes.
like, the speed is stressful if you haven't done them before, but like, it doesn't matter because you're still doing an hour of work that you wouldn't do before. And like, that's the benefit of those templates being up. So if you, like, sometimes I get 4 of the like 8 tasks done, but like, it's 4 more than I was doing. And so I say, like, keep going, even if it's hard, because it goes fast sometimes.
That's great encouragement. And my mom wouldn't care if I said this. One time we were in the same room doing it together, and she looked at me and she was like, I just got my stuff pulled up and we're going to the next one. And somebody's messaging me back. And I'm like, mute us and you keep going, because that's great. Like, run with that. So that's great encouragement, Stacey. Does anybody else want to say anything about power hours or add to that? Okay, cool. Love seeing your faces on those and know that those are really fruitful. Kind of flowing in from that, you've probably seen the Flourish in Fall promotion. I just want to shout out to that again. If you haven't signed up for that and aren't tracking your points yet, do it, guys. It's a good measurement of all the things that we're getting points for are things that are that we should be doing anyways. It's just kind of like that when Young Living did their Help 5 promotion, and they talked about helping, getting points for helping people enroll or get on Essential Rewards. For me, getting that promotion or getting that award or prize or whatever, the prize didn't matter to me. But at the end, if I got it, I knew, okay, if I'm doing this consistently every month, then that means my business is growing. So it was a great measurement for me at the end of the month to say, like, okay, that means we're still moving forward. So I would say use this as an opportunity to push yourself, to track yourself for the next couple of months. If you don't know what Flourish and Fall is, I should probably back up. It's a promotion that Rachel is doing. Silver and Ups are doing it for the executives and below. And it's just a way to track points for things like enrolling people, doing classes, vendor events. I'm blanking on some other things. Attending power hours, different things like that. You're going to get points for those.
Samples. What I think it was samples, and
I can't remember. There's a whole sheet breaking it down for you. But at the end of the competition, whoever has the most points is going to win the spa day, you guys. I think that's pretty amazing. You're not competing with Silvers and Ups. Silvers and Ups are competing against each other for somebody to come clean our house. I mean, I'm pretty excited about that. Please, somebody come clean my house. So anyways, I would encourage you, hop on that. Again, a great thing to pass on to your builders and encourage them to participate too. Something that you can do together, challenge each other, check in with one another, pair up with somebody and do accountability. These are great ways to spur each other on in fun and community, and to help reach your goals. Okay, does anybody have questions about Flourish and Fall?
I was going to ask, like, is everybody on the same sheet together, like the Silvers and the everybody, or is that separate?
Yeah, we're all on there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which maybe kind of makes it hard to tell where you're at. She might end up splitting us up, but yeah, everybody's on the same sheet. And I can post those links again. I'll post those after our call on our event page, just so you know where to sign up and where to track your points. Okay. Let's check in our chat feed to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Okay, well, if nobody has any, does anybody have any questions about any of that? If not, we will roll into our mini training tonight. You guys are quiet tonight. Hey, Linda, just saw Linda pop on. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about vendor events now. The timing is because vendor events are really huge in the fall and going into Christmas. So you're going to see lots of things pop up for September, October, and then Christmas time. So now is the time to search for those events, to enroll in those events. A lot of them will only allow one vendor of each kind. So I wanted to share with you guys a way that you can find them. You can search on Facebook, in your Facebook event groups, if you're in event groups for your community. You can search by your city name, search for things like craft fairs, markets. You can even just Google vendor events by searching your city name, vendor events, craft fair, markets. And a lot of schools and churches have vendor events around this time. So you can look at that. And then your Chamber of Commerce will also typically have a list of stuff like that. So lots of places to plug in there. And I wanted to share that with our community specifically because we have a lot of people who are in transition. A lot of people on our team who are moving to new places and don't know anyone. And while I think it's the biggest thing for me is it's a confidence booster. You're getting practice in sharing Young Living over and over and over and over again, and talking to people, sharing Young Living in a really short, compacted amount of time. So it's great practice. It's a great way to get your face and your name out there as the oily lady or oily guy in your community. And it's just a really great way to network. Okay, so if you are new in an area and you're like, I don't know anybody, sign up for a vendor event, sign up for 3 vendor events, and get your name out there and get some contacts. Okay, so I have some tips with me today, but I think I would just love to hear from you guys who have done these, and if you could just share maybe your biggest takeaway, your best tip from a vendor event, and then anything we don't cover, I can fill in some of those. So if anybody wants to hop in, I know Jen and Jessica just did one with me. The Edwards, Linda has done one. Stacey, I think you've done one before. Becca's done one. Ashley's done one. Okay, I think there's a lot of experience on here. So love to hear from you guys. I want to mute myself.
Okay, so I guess my biggest takeaway from this one, like I was really concerned about drawing people into our table beforehand and knowing what to say. And beforehand, like Erin gave a couple just like, here's some ideas of things to say. And I was also like listening out for her and what she would say. So I think that like one thing that I would plan to do for the next time is just writing down 5 or 6 different ways of like how to draw people into the table, and not just like, hey, do you want to smell our oils? Like, you know, something a little bit, that's a good way to draw people in. And I'm still working on that, but that was my takeaway.
Yeah, good feedback. So maybe having some like 1 or 2 sentences prepared beforehand that you could ask for questions and stuff.
I think for me, having a class planned that you can invite people to was kind of the biggest thing. Even though we didn't see a huge return on that, I think both Jennifer and I handed out, you know, dozens of class flyers, and you know, we certainly don't have like dozens of people coming to our classes in the next couple of weeks, but just being able to like have that conversation with them and put something in their hands to talk about like the next thing that's happening, and to kind of just really explain to people that our culture is one of like education, and like we want to teach and we want to help you and we want to come alongside you. And we actually spoke with a few people that already had oils and were already either using Young Living or other things, and but we heard more often than not, like, I don't know how to use them, I've never been told, you know. So we tried to just like invite those people to come as well. And I think having the flyer to like give them to take home was a good thing. Both Jennifer and I put QR codes on our flyers. So yeah, this one is Jen's that Erin is showing right now.
You guys can see that.
Yeah.
Can you talk through how you guys did the QR code?
So when we created our events in Facebook, and so creating public events, first of all, is like the biggest thing with something like that, because you're not going to be friends with people you meet at a vendor event, you know, in all likelihood. So having a public event. But when we created that, there was like kind of a little button at the top, and maybe Jennifer can correct me, but I think there was like
but you have to be on your
three
home
dots.
computer. You can't be on like your mobile device.
Yeah, so you were able to like click that and to say create a QR code. And what that did for people is it allowed them to scan it and it would take them directly to our class. And so rather than having to like type in a web address or, you know what I mean, like something like that, or to search us on Facebook, they were able to just like scan that and go. And like I said, I think both Jennifer and I would say we didn't get this like surge of people from it, but at the same time, it does like help people to associate you with oils and with Young Living. And if they have questions in the future, if they, you know, they maybe still have that flyer, we gave out a lot of business cards too. Like that's another thing. If you don't have business cards, I would recommend spending the like $6-7 at Vistaprints or whatever website to get some, because just giving people your name and a card is a nice way to just like maintain that connection. I know I keep business cards, you know, from people I meet in my wallet and have pulled them out, you know, when I think that I need that person or whatever. So I felt like having tangible things to take away from your booth was one of our best things.
So I have a question in the chat about how far out the classes were scheduled for. I think yours was like 2 weeks after the event, right? And then mine is like 2 weeks later, I think. So we and we had 2 different themes too. So we were able to offer like a variety of events.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. They were 2 different focuses. And so even if we had people that, you know, were like, I'm really interested in cleaning, like obviously we were like, Jen is doing this cleaning class, like come to this, you know, whatever. But we gave both flyers almost always, just to say like, this one's happening in 2 weeks and this one's happening the week after that, or this one's happening on post, this one's happening off post. So we're on post, but not everybody can easily access post, or it's harder in the evenings or whatever. And so being able to give some variability about like these classes, and you might find classes are better at different times of day as well. And so potentially having 2 options, if you're doing it by yourself, like we're doing a brunch in 2 weeks on a Saturday, and we're also doing a Tuesday night, gives people some options as well.
Yeah, those are great tips. Thank you guys. Ashley says QR would be great for mail outs. That's true. I'm just sitting here thinking of all the things that you could do with something like this. If you're leaving a flyer on a bulletin board, if you're leaving a flyer at a salon, something like that, giving somebody to immediately click and find you really easily is a great idea. So I think Jen figured that out. So great idea.
I wanted to mention too, like, because it took me a few minutes to figure it out. If anyone's wondering how I made like the size of mine, I did it in PowerPoint because it was easy to layer and move things around and line them up perfectly and use like text boxes. But I created like a big PowerPoint and then I duplicated that like 6 times and I told it to print 6 copies to a page. And that's how I did it. So just because it took me a little bit of time, I figured other people might help too.
That's great. Those are things we need to hear. And Stacy asked, do you typically pay to attend those events? How much is too much? I paid $40 for the event that we did. And that's the most that I've paid, but I think it's still pretty reasonable. I've seen Kara Kuzi is somebody that you could Google, and she's like a vendor event guru. She does hundreds of them a year and signs up dozens of people at each one, and she pays for her. So she'll pay a couple $100s for like a 3-day event for hundreds of people to come through. So it really depends on what you're looking to do, what your budget is, what you can afford, and how big the event is. But I felt really comfortable paying $40. And so I paid $40 for our table. And then they required me to do like a $20 gift for a raffle that they were doing. And then we offered a giveaway at our table. So that's another great tip, is you want to give something away at your table so that you can get contact information. So we said we're giving away a bottle of Thieves Cleaner and this great spray bottle, and we'd love for you to sign up for it. So that's how we got our contact information. We split up the contacts between the 3 of us and made sure and followed up within 3 days. I wanted to show you guys these 2. These are really fun sniff jars, and they're just magnetic. What do you call those? Like herb seasoning jars.
Spice jars.
Spice jars. Thank you. Herb seasoning spice jars. And you just twist them. I put a little like lavender sticker on this, some Epsom salts, and like 3 drops of lavender. And people can just open those and sniff them instead of opening your bottles over and over and over again. So I have the premium starter kit set up, and then these are for people to sniff. And that's just a great way to not have your oils touched over and over again. I've seen lots of different tables, and I find that for me, I get overwhelmed if you were to bring every Young Living product out there. So I think it's really important to keep it simple. Use your premium starter kit, have your diffuser going. If you can ask for a table close to an outlet so that you can diffuse. People commented on our diffuser. Have your sniff jars is a great idea. A giveaway, Thieves products. And then we chose to bring a few of the kids scents products because it was like around back to school. We were doing a back to school class. But other than that, we kept it really simple. And so that kept it to where there wasn't just too much going on at our booth. Anybody else have any? We have about 8 minutes left. I'd love to hear from other people who have done these and have one really good tip that you could offer.
Erin, Tanya Paget and I did one last year, and we used those containers that you had. Instead of Epsom salts, you can put cotton balls in there and just put a couple drops on the cotton balls. But we also had a giveaway there, and we had the Epsom salts. We did lavender and peppermint, 2 separate ones, and it brought people to the table, and then they could take something with them. But one quick thing I wanted to say, at the Silver Retreat last year, I talked to a lady that's vendor events is what they did, and for their signups, they called every person was a winner, and they had the iTovi scanner, and they would meet people for an iTovi scan. So anyway, it was a good follow-up, and because everybody they called won. They didn't tell you that everybody wins, but that allowed them, basically gave them permission to call with a gift for the person. So
yeah, Jessica and I actually talked about that. She's like, I'm pretty sure I've signed up for like Mary Kay booths and I win every single time, like some sort of like credit or something. And I do think we talked about that like the night before. So I think if we would have had some forethought, that's a great idea, where you could even do like, hey, you didn't win our big prize, but you won, a sample of our Thieves Cleaner or whatever, an excuse to mail them something. I think that is a great option. Stacy asked, do people do these alone? I've done 2 of them alone. It's more fun with a buddy, but I've done 2 alone, and you can do it. I would say pack a lunch or pack snacks, because things got busy and I was like, I don't want to miss anybody. I don't want to step away, but you get hungry and hangry and tired. So pack snacks. And then another quick tip I would say is don't even bring a chair. On the vendor list for every vendor event that I've done, one of the things I say, like, bring your chair, do not bring a chair, because then you will be tempted to sit down. Do not need to sit down. I've been at events where people across from me have sat behind their table and no one has stopped at their table. And I would tell you guys, if I sat behind my table, probably no one would stop at my table. We had to like look for people who made eye contact with us, and engage every single one of them. You do have to do work. So if you're not willing to engage people and talk to them and ask them questions and maybe embrace a little bit of awkwardness or uncomfortableness, then don't pay the $40. You got to say to yourself, I'm willing to stand in front of my table and put myself out there. Otherwise, it's not worth it. Okay, anybody else have anything?
Hey, Erin, and definitely if you are able to take somebody with you, there may be times where you might get stuck in the back and one of you needs to go up and mingle and take samples and handouts and stuff with you and just chit chat people up in the front whenever you get stuck in the back. I've had that happen to me several times. And it is really, really nice to have a buddy, especially on those cases, because then you can switch out. One person can go up front while one person mans the table, and then y'all switch and stuff like that. So, and bathroom breaks too.
That is true, because we had, like, Jessica got kind of not stuck, but talking to someone who was already a Young Living. She's like, I would say stuck. Talking to someone who was already a Young Living gal, and had a lot of products that she didn't know how to use, and she had a lot of questions. And so there's Jessica is talking to this one person for 30 minutes and not being able to make contacts. So it's nice to be able to kind of, be able to have somebody else there who's still engaging people, for sure.
I was just going to mention your idea that you had for doing a demo. You wanted to demo lemon, and we didn't, but it would have been really cool.
And it was a good thing that we didn't, because we didn't have the space for it. But I saw at other vendor events ideas to bring people in. So a couple of ideas are, you could have things to, like Kelly said, that you could make something there. So I've seen like a back to school one where people could make Play-Doh or the Epsom salts, and they could take it home right there. Some people will have peppermint brownies or lavender lemonade and just do a little taste test. And so everybody loves free food and free drink. But we had talked about maybe doing some sort of demo out front. So having somebody at a small table, maybe showing you, can I show you how this lemon oil takes Sharpie off of my kiddo's children's book? Something that you could easily do over and over and over again and it not be a big deal. So demos, food, something for them to make. Those are all ways to help get people to your booth, and probably something we would incorporate if we did this again.
I think we found too, having diffusers going was a big like eye-catching thing for people. The new feather owl diffuser was like a very easy way to like start conversations with people. The other thing that Erin consistently does is does like a little like Epsom salt goodie bag for the other vendors at the event, to just like hand out to them as they're cleaning up, and it's got like Stress Away in it, and she included like her business card and our class stuff, but basically just like, today was a long day, like have a bath on me kind of thing. And just a way to kind of get to know your neighbors. We made some really good contacts with some of the other vendors that had some projects that could maybe have worked alongside ours and things like that. And so we were able to kind of link up with people in that way and just introduce ourselves and hand those out. And so that's something to consider too, even if you don't do it for every other vendor. Like I think Erin did, I don't know, a dozen or 20 or something like that, to just do for your neighbors.
Yeah, because you'll find that those people get what you're doing, and they've seen you standing out there all day. They've seen your face. So a lot of times those other vendors can be some of your best connections. I actually enrolled another vendor whenever I was in Cambridge. And she was like my only enrollment from the vendor in bit. So, okay, I think we have less than a minute. If you have questions, if you want a checklist, if you want some tips, please send any of us a message. We're happy to help you guys do that. Thank you for being here tonight. I always feel like there are a dozen more things we could talk about, but if you need any help, I'm always here. Please reach out. I'd love to do these calls with you one-on-one if you feel like you need some one-on-one assistance. And you guys go rock your September. Flourish and fall.
Thank you, Erin.
Thanks,
Good night,
Erin.
everybody.
Thanks,
Good
Erin.
night.
Thanks, Erin. Bye.